What's up, everybody? This is Passion 9. And I just watched the first episode of the final season of Attack on Titan. The epic premiere by Studio Mappa. And it was freaking awesome. It was cool. I loved it. I really, really did. Sadly, I had to re-record this entire thing because I had something and I forgot I was muted. I do that a lot. That happens to me. So my headset was developed by monkeys. Stupid monkeys that are not people. Probably complained about this once or twice in the past, but yeah, there's a stupid mute button that's way too easy to hit, and I hit it all the time, and then I record, and then you don't hear me, and I end up with a botched recording that I gotta re-record. So anyway, Attack on Titan's final season was freaking banging. I loved it. It was everything I feel it needed to be, and then some. It exceeded my expectations, as a matter of fact. Exceeded them. My expectations were already pretty chill. I had good expectations. Okay? I was like, I know Mappa. Alright? I know Mappa. I know Studio Mappa. Some people were worried. Some people were concerned. They were like, yo, I don't know. What studio? They're not going to be making Attack on Titan anymore? They're not going to adapt it like they've been doing? Who's this Mappa? What's this Mappa shit? Well, I'll tell you what Mappa is. Mappa's great, right? I love Mappa. Okay? They gave us Zombieland Saga. They gave us Michiko and Hatchin. Okay? They gave us Kids on the Slope. Okay? Terror in Resonance. Okay? Mappa's great. Mappa's my friend. And Mappa entertained me strongly. Okay? When I needed it. I needed some Attack of a Titan. Attacker Titan. We're just gonna call it that because my tongue is tired. Attacker Titan, final season. And it's frickin' banger, you know? We got Reiner and Zeke in the spotlight doing their thing. Armored Titan, Beast Titan. You know, they're co-oping. They're playing it co-op, you know. And I love that that's, you know, that's the big finish of this episode. That's the big pinnacle we reach. First, we're introduced to these kids, these child soldiers, these Marleyan child soldiers, these Eldian Marleyan child soldiers trained to become Titan warriors. That's a lot of stuff. But, you know, this is why you might want to rewatch Attack on Titan Season 1, 2, and 3. Because there's a lot of shit to process here. Like, don't go into this new season thinking like, oh, I could probably catch up, right? It's probably all cool. It's just Attack on Titan. No. Things are new. Alright? We got a 4-year time jump after the final scene, you know, where Eren and Mikasa and Armin are standing on the beach and they're just looking out at the ocean like, yeah, we're gonna wreck this Marley place, you know? They've been sending Titans to come kill us. We didn't do nothing to them. That's not true, because if you know the lore, if you know the mythology well, like, actually a lot of stuff happened 100 years ago. It's kind of a back and forth thing, so. But I love this, because we're dropped medias res into this new battlefield that the Marleyans have sent all their Titan soldiers, or I don't know, a few of them. I don't know how many there are, but some of their finest out to this fortress, this naval kind of battleground, to take out this like Middle Eastern, you know, country, this faux Middle Eastern looking place, you know. And you even like you see like the enemy, like they're wearing fezzes and everything, like fez hats. So it's like very, you know, it's very on point there. Um, and yeah, so these kids, they're crazy. Actually, only one of them is crazy, as far as I know. We'll find out about the rest of them later, but Gabi, freaking Gabi, man. She's weird. She's all kinds of weird and scary. Like, she don't give a shit. She's just like, I want that armored titan power. I want to surpass him or whatever. Actually, I don't know if they're getting his power or just getting his rank. It's like they're trying to get Reiner's rank, you know, because these kids are like trained to grow up to become like, you know, the new official Titan warriors, just like Annie and Bertholdt and Reiner. So I thought that was cool. I was like, oh, okay. Like, I see what they're doing here. I see what this is. This is like, you know, this is their weaponry here. They've enslaved a portion of the Eldian race, you know, after the fall of their empire. And for generations, they've just been using them as their own war weapons, you know. So it's like a switcheroo, you know. I thought that was neat. I thought the dynamic there was neat. Like, they're referred to as devils, you know. They're like kind of given a bad rap, but they're also trained to be awesome at the same time. So, you know, it's a whole lot of contradictory paradox going on there. It's like, you know, like they love these soldiers, they value them, but only like as weapons. You know, they don't really see them as, they're like really mean pets, I guess. I guess that's how the Marleyan society sees them. They're just like, you know, to be sent out as dogs of war. And it's kind of sad. These kids are just like, you know, they don't realize just how bad they've got it. You know? This is all they know. They were raised in this strict Marleyan system to go out and fight. But this Gabi chick just doesn't give a shit. Like, she's a lot braver than any of them. So she's like the kill streak champ, apparently. And we see her take out this train. You know, we see her get out on the battlefield and she's carrying those bombs, feigning innocence there for a sec in front of the enemy. She's just got the cojones, you know. It's a badass moment, but it's also like messed up. It's like, damn, they're just sending these kids out and they got bloodlust and everything. It's just, war is a terrible thing, man. Even the Beast Titan says it at one point in this episode. He's like, it's a terrible thing. It's not good. Actually, that line was a little obvious. It's the only obvious line in the whole episode. So, I guess that's a demerit. But there's another line that I loved. We get from Reiner when he's dropping in from the parachute. They get parachutes. They come here on a blimp. We see them flying over the fortress, you know, of this trench battlefield. And Reiner's just like, yeah, he's like, I'm tired of walls. You know, I'm tired of walls. We've been seeing walls everywhere. And it's kind of funny because it's like a meta line, kind of. It's like he's referring to, you know, the past 3 seasons of Attack on Titan, where there is like a wall obsession going on, you know. It's all about these walls. Multiple walls. You know, Wall Maria, Mole, what was it, Trost? There's a lot of walls. And, yeah, so he's like, I'm sick of that shit. And he, you know, he just descends down there and wrecks that shit. I thought that was funny. I thought that was a nice little line there. It's a clever little dig. You know, it's almost like Mappa's like, yeah, you know what? We're gonna shake this shit up. Or it could be from the manga. I don't know. Maybe I should credit Isayama. You know, maybe the author is the one who needs the credit. But I don't know. It was a dope moment to see them parachuting in like that. And, you know, no more walls. That's the... You heard it from Reiner, you know? We're all about trenches now. Trenches! World War I style trenches, which is pretty cool, you know? Everything's a bit more sophisticated from what we've seen, compared to what we've seen in the first 3 seasons. Like, now they've got, like, you know, they've got cannons, they've got guns. Like, real honest-to-God artillery, though. We even see that one cart titan. He has the big machine guns on his back. Like, that was a cool moment. And freaking anti-Titan cannons. This actually got me when the armored train comes out and they're like, these shells could rip a Titan in half like in one shot. And I'm like, oh shit. And we see that when the armored Titan gets wrecked. He gets like his arm taken off there. He's actually getting wrecked by these shells, these cannons. And it's like, it's quite a shift, you know? Last time we saw the armored Titan get even anywhere near wrecked was like, you know, it took a lot of effort there. It took a whole lot of scouts, you know, a whole lot of Titan power to take that dude down. You know, they've come a long way. Or I guess Marley already had the tech, so I don't know. I don't know how far they've come, but it's a big step up from the lightning spears we saw in season 3. It's like, yeah, that's artillery. Like, that's honest to God artillery right there. And it's just an awesome bit there with the Beast Titan and Armored Titan teaming up there and taking out the naval bay there. Great stuff. But so we got Gabi, we got this other kid named Falco. He kind of looks like a little Reiner. I think I'm just gonna call him Little Reiner. He honest to God, just looks like a mini-me of Reiner. He's got the same haircut, same blonde thing going on. Oh, he just looks like Reiner. He's a square-jawed kid, I don't know. But he seems to be the more compassionate one. And I thought that was neat. Like, we got some good world building, some good character dynamics. So Gabi's out there, like, wrecking shit, just being kind of merciless, using any dirty tactics she can. You got Falco, like, trying to heal one of the fallen enemies. He's, like, the only one who gives a crap. And I love that we get a moment there where even the enemy is like, yeah, don't touch me, you know, don't heal me, you know, I don't want to be tainted by you devils. So it's like, there's a lot of infamy, even in nations outside of Marley, of like these Titan soldiers, these, you know, and I guess you can't blame them because they're bred to do one thing, you know, they're bred to kill. And you have all this Marley propaganda that's like, for hundreds of years, or 800 years, I guess, it's just 100 years, decades and decades, they've demonized them as like, you know, this sinful race, you know? So it's a neat dynamic, good world building, and then the animation in this episode. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I would say the CG Titans in this episode were like Orange Studio level. And that's a compliment and a half for any anime these days when it comes to CG. Everybody knows Orange Studio is like the studio now in anime when it comes to doing CG models. They've mastered that shit. I mean, Land of the Lustrous, or Hoseki no Kuni, is like by far one of my favorite CG animes of all time. It's the best looking CG anime I've ever seen. And it was the first time I ever saw a fully CG anime that actually looked like as good as any of the best 2D animes I've seen out there. It's that good. At least I would say so. A lot of people would agree. Orange Studio is just, they're great. I haven't seen Beastars yet, but, you know, we'll see. I'm still on the fence with that one. But they're doing a new Godzilla movie soon. That's going to be all CG anime stuff, so it's like, yeah, they got this stuff down. Like, I'm willing to watch whatever they put out, and to see Mappa deliver a similar level of quality with the Titan models was pretty banging. Because I remember the Colossal Titan in the end of the last season was kind of janky. It was kind of, well, it was a colossal jank, really. They called it Colossal Titan, but I was like, nah, it's a colossal jank. It's like, I love Wit Studio, you know, and they pulled it together, but that was some jank, you know. And then to see these new CG Titans for the whole episode, I'm pretty sure they were CG entirely, look so good and be so fluid. and so well shaded with the backgrounds was like, ah, that's some good CG. Like, that's good stuff. And I hope it keeps up. I have no reason to doubt it. I mean, CG tends to be a pretty consistent thing when it's, you know, they got it that good already from the first episode. I feel like, okay, it's CG. It's a little different from doing 2D animation really well, because once they've got the shading and everything down, it's like, okay, the program is set. They know what they're doing. It's just a matter of putting in the man hours, you know, making all that move. So that's cool. I'm actually totally okay with the idea of the Titans being CG for the rest of this season. Like, I'm okay with it, because they look that good. Yeah, man, the action throughout this whole episode as a result was just like really fire, man. It was very different from anything I'd seen in the past seasons, just because they had done that 3D so well. You know, it gave it a little more impact in some ways. A little more weight, I guess. They managed to make it look impactful and weightful, rather than big rubber toys, you know what I mean? That's important. It's very important. So if we had been stuck with, you know, the jank we had last season, that would have been terrible. And we're like, oh, Mappa. You know. Because don't get me wrong, as great as Studios Mappa is, I remember Zombieland Saga, which was their last big hit for me, had some CGI there as well that wasn't very good. You know, when the idols were dancing or whatever, they sometimes would be totally CG and they looked pretty bad. I mean, it wasn't the worst. It wasn't the worst CGI I'd ever seen. That would be Alice in Zoroku. Watch that if you want the worst CG in anime. That's like, it's blisteringly bad. That's something. Yeah. Oh, fucking awful. Oh, JC Staff, why? That's what we would have had if we, you know, ended up with that studio. I mean, I mean, their CG is fine when it's something like High Score Girl, you know, and it's not really meant to be flashy. It's just, you know, a more exaggerated comedy thing. But they cannot do like bombastic action stuff. They don't know what they're doing there. So it's good stuff. I think what impressed me most about this episode, though, was the restraint. The level of restraint. The fact that we don't see any of the scouts, aside from one, at the credit sequence. We see Jean. We see old purple-haired, pink-haired, whatever color his hair is, dude. Good old Jean, you know. Aaron's old, punky rival is still fighting the good fight, and we see him all dressed up from head to toe. You can almost, if you blinked, you almost wouldn't know it was him, really. I'm sure some people got it, maybe some people didn't. But, you know, the craziest of the crazy fans knew right away, like, yep, that's one of them scouts. That's Jean, you know? And he's obviously in hiding, he's undercover. He's a spy in Marley territory, you know, wearing their clothing, got a fedora and a suit, and I'm like, oh shit, like, are all the scouts undercover in Marley territory? Because that would be a crazy reveal. If, like, maybe little by little, or maybe the next couple episodes, I don't know, we just find out, you know, they were all hiding there, incognito. That would be so cool, because that's not at all how I pictured this. I thought they were just going to be like, you know, arriving on some boat, just storming the place, like, you know, knocking the door down. But that's way more interesting. It's like, oh, they're planning this shit. They had this planned. Like, they were prepared to go in there and, you know, do it the spy way, you know, some espionage. I'm like, this is cool. And, you know, we don't see Eren, we don't see Mikasa, we don't see any of the main scouts other than that one dude. And I thought that was really tasteful. It was just like, it's one of those cliffhangers that just has you begging for more, right? Like, it's the perfect kind of cliffhanger for this premiere. Because we know, we know that's got to be one of the scouts. And it gets your imagination going, like, oh, how much did they plan here? How cool is their reintroduction going to be? Or how brutal is it going to be? But it's also great because, we see how formidable Reiner and Zeke's entourage are. We see how, how they're training these Titan warriors, and we also get a new Titan shifter that gets a name, but it's very brief. It's the big lion-looking dude. He's got like that big armored face, and what is it, Galdeon or Gabrion? I don't freaking know. Something with a G. It was very brief introduction there, but we got a new like major Titan shifter, so that was cool. Titan comrade of Reiner's sweeping into the battlefield there. So like, I'm looking forward to seeing how many of these Marley Titan shifters we get to, we get to be. Obviously, that Warhammer one was in the trailer. We didn't see that one yet. I'm actually wondering if it's one of the kids. If, like, that becomes one of their first powers or whatever. Maybe that's Gabi's thing. Maybe she turns into that Warhammer Titan. Obviously, people who read the manga already know this shit, and probably, like, go read the manga, but no. I'm an anime-only viewer, so I want to find out through the anime. But I'm excited. Very excited. Because this is cool. It's really broadening the scope of the world of this series in ways that are like making it more complex, making it more morally challenging, where it's like we've got people on both sides that are, endearing, that are sympathetic in their own way, in their own right. So it's like you could see the motivations now both sides, and there were a lot of tip-offs that that's what this season was going to be, but I'm so happy to see it, like, really just cutting into that, like, leaning into it full stop. And I'm looking forward to more of it. But until next time, viewers, that's all I got to say. Live for the passion. Goodbye.